Hi, Professor. This is Catherine Vu, and I'm going to be presenting on the reproductive systems of the phylums Cnidaria, Echinodermata, and Mollusca. So, cnidarians have two body forms, which are polyp and medusa, and these often occur within the life cycle of a single cnidarian. Polyps take the sessile form, and they reproduce both sexually and asexually, but mostly asexually. They do this through budding and fission. So for budding, they make genetic copies of themselves since there isn't any mixing of genes. And then through fission, the polyp splits into two equal halves. It's kind of similar to binary fission in bacteria. And then in the medusa form, it's the mobile life cycle, and in this form, they usually reproduce sexually using eggs and sperm. So for hydra, they live in freshwater and they reproduce asexually by producing buds in the body wall, which grow to be miniature adults and then they break away when they're mature. When a hydra is well fed, a new bud can form around every 2 days. And then the polyp is the juvenile and asexual form, where medusa is the adult and sexual form. Under harsh conditions, when the hydra is starving, it reproduces sexually. And then when they're doing sexual reproduction, they release sperm into the water to fertilize the eggs of another hydra. And then the polyp is transformed into medusa when the development of gonads, either ovaries or testes, form, because most are dioecious, which means the male and female reproductive organs are found in separate individuals. The hydra to the left, over here, it has developed testes, which look like little bumps over here and then over here. And then this bigger part that's sticking out to the left is a bud. And then on the right, you can't really tell, but this hydra formed this little curved part right here is the ovaries. And then there's two buds forming over here. Some species of hydra can also produce both ovaries and testes, which makes them hermaphroditic. And then next, I'm going to go over phylum Mollusca. So most of the mollusca are also dioecious. Most of them have a trochophore larval stage, and these trochophore have cilia that allow them to swim. And then bivalves like clams, mussel, and oyster, they give rise to veliger, which develop from the trochophore. But in cephalopods like squid and octopus, there's no larval stage, and the offspring resemble the adults, but they're sexually immature. So for mussel, they reproduce sexually, and the gonads are shown as number 10 in the picture of the dissection here. And marine mussels reproduce by releasing their eggs and sperm into the water, so it's external fertilization. And the young begin life as floating plankton from 1 to 6 months before settling on the bottom as an adult. And then with freshwater mussels, the male releases sperm into the water, which enters the female, and then the eggs are fertilized in the female's body. So it's internal fertilization. And then what's different about mussels is that when these eggs are released into the water, like the fertilized embryos, they attach themselves to passing fish, and they're kind of like a parasite. And then they feed on this fish during their larval stage, and then they detach themselves when they begin their adult stage. And these are also dioecious as well. And then next, I'm going to be going over the phylum Echinodermata. These sea stars are purely marine animals. They reproduce sexually and asexually. In sexual reproduction, external fertilization occurs in the water. So the gonads, which are shown at number 4 on the dissection, they're housed in the arms and produce gametes to be released into the water. So the males and females release sperm and eggs into the environment. And then the fertilized embryos which are free-swimming animals, have ciliated bands that function for locomotion and feeding. And then after a period of time, they transform into something called a brachiolaria larva, which has bilateral symmetry, which is unlike the adult sea star here, which has radial symmetry. And then most of the sea star species are dioecious, but some are hermaphroditic. So they both have, the single individuals have both sperm and eggs. And then some species of sea stars are sequential hermaphrodites, which means that they can start out male and then they can switch into a female as it develops and grows. So since they produce both sexually and asexually, few species of sea stars reproduce asexually by doing fission or fragmentation. So the difference is that in fission, the central disc, which is this part right here at number 2, it splits into 2 pieces, and then each portion regenerates the missing parts, which would be the arms. And then for fragmentation, an arm is shed with part of the central disc attached, and then the rest of the body forms after that. And then I thought it would also be important to mention that they're deuterostomes because it's part of their development. So that's it for the comparison between their reproductive systems. I chose these because they're all in the water. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.